everybody, it's the Details and me coming back at you with another video. Today we are going to undergo the battle of the foam sprayers. I have 4 different foam sprayers here. I have the Marolex Axle 2000. I have the Venus FOAMER, professional FOAMER, made by Kwazar. I have a Chemie FOAMER, and I have the IK Foam Pro 2. So what I did is I tried to gather foam sprayers that were of different price points to see if price really matters. Not only looking at if the price matters, but is there different, build quality because of the price? Is the actual foam that it produces different because of the price? Are there, more positives than negatives because of the price point? Does it really matter? Do you have to spend, $62 on the Marolex foamer to get really good foam? Or can you spend a little under $13 on the Chemie foamer and get just as good of a produced product as the Marolex? So that's what we're going to go over today. Before we actually begin the foam battle, I want to just kind of talk about, again, the price point and the quality of construction of each of these pieces here. So we're going to start with the price point, and I have my handy dandy little book here that I take notes in just so that I don't get any of this mixed up or confused. So we're going to start with the Marolex foamer. Again, this is the Axle 2000. Right now, currently, the price of this is about $62, give or take, plus shipping, obviously. This is a 2-liter container. It holds up to 2 liters. And the build structure, as we'll go over in a minute, is actually pretty good. We then have the Kwazar, also a 2-liter foamer. This I got from the Chemie website. This I actually got from, I believe, I want to say Obsessed Garage. I could be wrong. I'll have to go back and look at that. But this one I got from the Chemie website. Chemie, gosh, I still need to figure out how to say that. This sprayer comes in at about $45.99. We then have the Chemie sprayer, which obviously I purchased from Chemie. This comes in at about $12.47. Now, if you know Chemie, you are going to find very similar sprayers for very similar price points. So there were a ton that are very similar to this, but none of them were more than $13. I found a $10 one, an $11 one, a $12 one, but when you get those coupons, the codes, this is the one that ended up showing up on my on the app, and it was $12.47, so I just went with it. And then of course you have the IK Foam Pro 2. This is probably the one that everybody is most comfortable with because it may be the most common, I'm not sure, in which people own. IK is a good brand and everybody knows about them, and these actually work really well. The price point for this right now on Car Supplies Warehouse is about $38.54. However, if you are a member, you do get a discount. I believe if you are a member, this takes it down to about $28, $24 to $28. It significantly reduces the price of these, which is pretty awesome. It's definitely like a $10 difference, I want to say. So pretty cool there. Now let's talk about the quality, just the construction of the actual foamers, the quality of what they're made of, the way that they feel in your hand. The Marolex is the most expensive. Again, $62, but I am going to say I really do like the ergonomics of how this has been created. The hand, place where you put your hand here, I love it. If you can see, it has these ridges here that really help your hand just fit nicely. With that, it is just a very nice angle in which your hand holds it. It's, you kind of have your arm bit in a way that's comfortable. And so even when it's heavy, it just feels good in the hand. I also like, if you can see here, I know it's really sunny. It's about 95 degrees already today. If you can see here, there's the indentions here that really makes it easy to carry and easy to hold, especially when you are tightening and untightening the top here. I have found that in these other ones, I kind of have to hold them, in between my, my upper arm and my forearm to sometimes get them off because they're, on there so tight. This actually gives nice leverage that really helps you take, the top piece off a lot easier than some of these. In fact, the Kwazar slipped out of my hand earlier. Thank goodness it didn't, crack, which I guess says something about its construction here. But again, with the Marolex, it has a really nice, ergonomic feature here with your, indentions for the hands there and fingers there, for the ridges here. It has a very nice storage spot for the FOAMER heads that it comes with. This is the one that came stock. In fact, I just used the FOAMERs that came stock with all of them. Which would give you, I guess you would call your regular foam, and then they have a tip that will give you a wet foam and one that will give you a more dry foam. I wanted to keep this test, as what's the word I'm looking for? I'm sorry. As fair as possible with the amount of liquid that I put in, making sure it was the same kind of liquid, making sure that I was using the standard tip that each of these come with, and things of that such. So what we're going to also test how many times it takes to pump the sprayer before it actually works. Other than that, it has a very nice lever here, or that which you push down. This actually auto locks so that you don't have to keep your hand on it while you're spraying, which is nice. It has the aerator feature here, and it's just overall a nice feel. The plastic is nice and sturdy. The bottom has these 4 little legs here, so it sits very well. There is no tipping action at all. For $62, it really is good quality. Now, again, do the others have the same type of quality? What we really care about is the foam, I guess. But if you want a really nice, build feature, this one is probably going to take the cake. Moving on to the Kwazar FOAMER Venus here. I think online it's called the DPZ Venus Super FOAMER. Again, coming in at $45.99. It's the largest of the bunch. The plastic is very sturdy, as in the Marolex, you could tell that it's constructed very nicely. The handle here is nice. This feature, I believe, comes off. I don't know if I could take it off right now. Let's try. Let me set this camera down. Let's see if I could get this to work. No, I can't set it down. Oh, well. I can't do it with one hand, but this does come off so that you can... Okay, so I thought this came off. I can't get it to come off. I was thinking you could put your tips up in there, but now that I'm thinking about it, I'm so wrong because it has a hole in the middle. So, no, it doesn't work. It doesn't work that way. That's okay. I was thinking it was kind of like the IK. Anyway, so continue talking about the build. It has the aerator nozzle up top. It has a really nice button here. I am going to say that because it is such a long constructed piece, the handle, it's not the most comfortable to hold, because this piece is really heavy compared to the way that this handle is structured. I feel like I'm really having to use muscle to keep it upright, and maybe it's just because I don't have muscle at all. I'm not sure, but the Marolex Axle 2000 FOAMER is much nicer to hold. I don't feel like I'm struggling to keep it upright. This one, I feel like I have to, really struggle to hold. So I'm not sure how much I like that. But I guess that's just preference. The bottom, is really nice. It's a sturdy feel. It doesn't tip over at all. Overall, well produced, well constructed. We then have the Temu FOAMER here. Obviously, out of all of the FOAMERs, I'm going to say that this one has a build that is not my favorite, so I will tell you why. And it's not the whole thing. There's just a few things that I'm kind of iffy about. One, this lever here, you can see that there's a big hole in it. The plastic piece here is not... It's not the sturdiest or the best build, you can tell. So I feel that over time, once you're pressing this down, that this is going to wear out or eventually break. It's just, again, it's just not the sturdiest piece of plastic. But the way that the handle is situated is nice. It is kind of like the axle, which it kind of has that handle that doesn't go straight down, but kind of comes out a little bit just to help with, I think, the balance when you're holding it. The plastic does not seem less you know, sturdy or less concrete than the Kwazar or the Marolex. It seems like it's a good build. The one thing I can say I don't like also is the bottom of it. If you can see, it's kind of, you know, there's those little cutouts there, and the plastic at the bottom is super thin. So I could see the bottom really wearing out or breaking rather quickly. So I'm not sure how long that would last, especially if you know, keep setting it down. And it's, you know, you're not doing it gently. I could see this chipping very easily. It's a very cheap piece of plastic there at the bottom. Not sure why they wouldn't have used another, you know, sturdier chunk like, you know, what the bottle is made of. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. And again, this is coming in at less than $13, so you get what you pay for. Last but not least, you have the IK Foam Pro 2, which people are most familiar with. Now, I am going to say I've had this one for a long time. This does have a cap down here, usually kind of like the Venus FOAMER here. This usually has a cap where you could keep, you know, the other tips in here. I have lost mine. I don't know where it went. So that's my bad, but that is a feature, even though it's missing on mine. The build of the IKs I've always loved. Very sturdy plastic. It feels good. The bottom is just as sturdy as the top is. The ergonomics of the handle, it does go straight down. So again, this one is more like the Kwazar FOAMER that doesn't really have that angle. I prefer the angle. Once again, when it is straight down this way, it just makes me feel like I'm fighting to keep it kind of straight and held up. I do have a lot of liquid in here, so, you know, that matters because it is heavier, but that would be really my only complaint. I just appreciate that lever that has more of an angle. For some reason, it's just easier to hold on to that way instead of trying to keep it straight with this straight down design here. But other than that, I love the IK Foam Pro 2. This is usually, or I shouldn't say usually, this is my go-to. I haven't had the Marolex too long, but I am loving it, and these two are rather new, so I'm still kind of playing with them. So there we go. There is the construction and the build and the price points. We have $62, we have $45.99, we have $12.47, and we have $38.54 unless you are a member of Car Supplies Warehouse, which that price drops drastically. I love their membership. You get very good discounts on lots of premium, top-notch items. So let's get to the foam. Okay, so we're going to get started in the foam battle. Now, off camera, I went ahead and gave these the amount of pumps that they needed in order to fill up. The Marolex, the Kwazar, Venus, and the IK, I got a good about 40 to 45 pumps in for all of them. This one, the Temu, I couldn't go past 35. In fact, going even past 30, I had so much foam being created. It was all the way up into the lid here. It actually started coming out a little bit from the top, so I don't know what that's all about. So this one really only takes about 25 to 30. I was trying to be, you know, as precise and keeping it fair, but you definitely cannot go past 35. That was its limit there with the pumps. So we're going to go from most expensive to least expensive. Again, 62, 48. Did I get that right? 62, 40. 5, 38, and less than 13, around that price point. I'll have to go back and correct myself if I'm wrong. So let's go with the first foam test. Again, we're going to start with the axle, and we are just going to use my garage door hem. Once again, thank you, Tim from Two Old Detailing Dudes, who gave me the idea to use my garage as a testing point. This is perfect instead of using my car, especially in this extreme heat, because like I said, it is almost 100 degrees. I am sweating here, but let's give this foam test a go. So here we go. This is the Marolex axle 2000, and I'm actually going to switch hands here. Sorry for the shakiness of the camera. Here we go. Okay, so it's okay. You can see the stream is pretty thin. It does give off, you know, a good amount of foam, but I do not like the stream with that there. It is not a consistent stream. It does cling to the surface. And now I'm going to tell you, and it's locked, let me unlock it. I can tell you that it could also be the chemical that I have in the foamers. I'm using Mudbuster from P&S. Sometimes chemicals are a little too harsh. I am using it straight, again, because I wanted to, you know, give a consistent and fair test. So that can, you know, could be the reason that it's not, you know, I could have the wrong foamer. I might need the wetter foamer tip, or maybe the more dry foam tip. Again, I'm just using the regular foam tip so that the test is fair. So you could see it does put out a good amount of foam. It just wasn't very consistent in its spray pattern. And at the highest price point, I'm not sure that I appreciate that. It is clinging to the paint. Obviously, the gravity is going to make that fall quickly. I mean, but it works. It's not the worst. I don't think it's the best. So let's continue with our test here. All right, we're going to grab our Kwazar, our DPZ Venus foamer from Chemie. I'm sure you can get them on other sites. This is just where I've seen them. So here we go. Okay, so I'm going to put you on hold here because that was not impressive. So let me see if I can get my camera too. I'm using, sorry, let's see. Okay, so I went ahead and tried to pump it again. Okay, maybe I just didn't have it pumped all the way. This definitely has a nicer stream. I like this one much better. Look at that. The stream is nice and consistent. It does obviously get to be more of a jet once it loses air. But that foam was nice in the beginning. The stream, that came out beautifully. I enjoyed that much more than I did the Marolex. That was good. That was good. Okay. Let's continue now with our IK. I just didn't have this one pumped enough, I guess, which was kind of odd because I did 50 and it wouldn't go anymore. So I'm not sure about that. I'll have to test that a little more. But it is clinging to the paint a lot longer than the Marolex did. Or to the surface, I guess I could say clinging to the paint. Let's try our handy dandy IK here. This is the tried and true, the one that most everybody is familiar with. Let's see how this measures up. And again, look at that foam pattern there. I love the stream. It stays more consistent throughout. Again, you're gonna lose it once it loses that air, but at the beginning, I think I liked that even more than the Kwazar. We'll have to go back and do a couple more tests with that. It does die out pretty quickly. That's the only problem with these foamers is, man, you would think that I would have muscle by now, as much as you have to keep pumping these things. Pressurized tanks are much better, but sometimes we can't afford those, and so we have to do with what we have. The IK works great. If you look at that foam, it was there. It had a very consistent flow pattern coming right out of the nozzle. It's enjoyable. It, you know, sucks that we have to keep pumping, but hey, you do what you got to do. And here we go. The last but not least, we're going to try this Temu here. Let's see how this one works. Here we go. Okay, and this one sprays in a different pattern. This one goes horizontally and not vertically, but if you can see that pattern, it is quite nice. However, the spray, the consistency of that pattern is nice, but can you see the difference already in the type of foam that comes out? If you look here, look at that IK, keeping that foam pretty thick. This foam came out super watery. Does it do its job? Yeah, it does. You can get some foam on, you know, on a tire, on a wheel, on a panel, but it is not the consistency that you're going to get with your more expensive, better quality foamers. Does it work? Absolutely. but you can already tell the quality of foam is not there. I'm going to put us on hold really quick. Let me give all of these another pump or 2 or 50 so we can kind of try this one more time and see what our final thoughts are. I'll be right back. Okay, so we are back. I'm going to do this test one more time. I am having trouble with the Marolex. It is just not foaming properly. I have a feeling this tip just isn't equipped for the chemical that I have in there. So I don't know how much of a fair test this would be, although that already kind of, you know, makes me think about the price point, because I'm not having the same issue with the other foamers with this chemical, which is Mudbuster by P&S. A lot of people will use that straight on a tire, which is kind of what I'm trying to simulate here, or straight on a vehicle for a pre-soak or, you know, pre-wash. So I don't know, but let me show you one more time what the Marolex looks like. I'm disappointed with it for 60 some odd dollars. Here we go. Okay, look at that spray. It is a stream. It's getting caught up. I mean, does it work? Yeah. But that's pathetic. It's measly. Look at that. So I have a feeling it's the tip. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if that's a fair test because of that, but again, I'm using the same tip that all of the other ones came with stock, and if the other ones can work with this chemical and the same stock tip, then that doesn't leave me very high hopes for this one that was most expensive. So let's try the Kwazar or Venus, DPZ Venus one more time. This is significantly lower, about 45 I believe, so here we go. That spray pattern is much nicer. You know, let me give this one some pumps. I don't know if I'm just not pumping it enough in the beginning. There we go. It's kind of weird. It works definitely better than the Marolex, I'm going to tell you, although it is kind of doing the same thing there. So maybe you guys can tell me. I am not too privy on foamers here, but can you see that coming out? So I'm guessing that means it's the wrong tip for this kind of chemical. I don't know. Please leave in the comments what's going on there. I'm still learning. But it does leave a better foam in a more consistent pattern. Let's move on to the IK, which again comes with the stock tip. And that is the tip that I'm using with Mudbuster Straight, as with all the others. And look at that. I love it. This is why I'm IK all day. IK all day. Just look at that consistent foam pattern. This is perfect. I don't care that I'm going to have to pump it up again here very soon. I use the IKs for my tires and my wheels. And that's, you know, if I have to pump it up each tire and wheel, I'm okay with that. For the foam that comes out of it, for the consistency of the stream, that's beautiful to me. And again, $38 on Car Supplies Warehouse, which is about the same price point as I see on any other website. But again, because I'm a member, I get this for about $24, $26. And I need to stock up because this just reminds me why I do love the IKs. Pretty fantastic. Let's do one last test here, again with the Temu. Now, this does have a very consistent fan. You can see that there. But it comes out much more watery. And this one did not have another tip. This is the tip that it comes with. So does this work? And that was about it. Does it work? Yes. Am I impressed? No. Not at all. Is it cool? If that's all I have, yeah, I mean, it gets the job done, but it does not work as well as this IK. And you can even tell, I mean, that foam of the IK just continues to stick to that panel, that paint, that tire. IK, once again, all the way. Please drop me a comment. Let me know what you think. Did I give this a fair test with the other two? Did I need to switch the tips, which I'm guessing I did? Will it work better? I don't know. I'm going to have to keep testing those products, but from what I see so far with the stock tip, with the same amount of chemical and the same type of chemical, straight or neat, this is what can be done, and the IK wins all day. So if you like this type of content, guys, please give me a like and subscribe. I also want to mention that I have been selected for the DIY Tuber program with DIY Detail. Please follow us. There are 4 of us. There's Antoine, there's Bruce, and there's Chris Detail. Grandma, Bruce's Garage, and Antoine, I believe, is Fan. I'm going to have to put it in this description below because I think it just slipped my mind. Fanetic Auto Supplies, I believe, is what his handle is. I have some great competition. I am so excited to get started here. So please follow us on that journey and be a support. Thank you, guys. Bye-bye.